Hi everyone, and welcome back. Long time no see. I know it's been forever since I've made a video. Life just got absolutely insane, but I am hoping to try and fit in more time to do videos again. I really miss chatting with you all and sharing all the journaling goodies. So hopefully I can get back on track, and now that I'm kind of in a bit more of a routine, we can get things going again. But aside from all the yapping and apologizing, for today's video, we are going to talk about my current journaling setup because it's been so long, some things have changed. And then also cover my plans for 2026 because they're pretty much the same as what I'm doing now. So I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand instead of doing two separate videos. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. So first things first is we are in a new cover. I got the new Foggy Plaid cover from Hobonichi because I was absolutely obsessed with it. It is one of their prettiest covers ever, I think. I'm just absolutely in love. And I have a cover on it because I am neurotic and am terrified of spilling ink on the cover. Okay, I just had to go kick all the animals out of the room because they were being crazy. So I don't know where I left off, but basically new cover, Foggy Plaid. I'm obsessed with it. I have the cover and I have inserted these like art prints and this little Esterbrook patch, and I think it's adorable. So let's hop right in here. So we're in the same journal that I showed in my last video. The last video I think was an introduction, and it's crazy that we're almost finished with it, which is absolutely insane. But I've just been using her the exact way I used my first half of the year of the Avec. So we'll do a super quick little flip through just to show you how I've been using it and just to show you some pages and things like that. So let's just hop right in. I've been using my months the same ways as I always do, just minimal decoration. I say minimal, this is lots of stickers, but I'm not like putting too much effort into it. I'm kind of just plopping them down. And it's just used for big events that are happening, appointments, things like that. And then my weeks I have been struggling with. I haven't actually used them really at all. Once I started, so I got 2 new jobs. I started working at a bookstore and then also at a local stationery store. I ended up having to go full-time with the stationery store, but long story short, once I started working not from home, my schedule was just kind of the same every single week, and so it just felt pointless to come in here and write down the same exact thing every single week. And so I ended up just really stopping using the weeks section, and I'm kind of sad about it. I wish I could find a way to fill these pages. That's something I really want to brainstorm on for 2026, is how I can use the week section that's not just keeping track of my daily tasks, because that's how I've always used it. It's just like, this is what I need to do today, this is the hours that I work, things like that. But when the hours are the same every single week, it just feels pointless, if that makes sense. And it helps when we have like big trips. So like we had the Halloween vacay. This was when my fiance was leaving for Vegas. So things like that, it's helpful for that, but I'm still just not really finding much use of it. And I really want to try and find a new way to use these weekly pages, because as you can see, they're just not being used. And that makes me sad. So if any of y'all have any suggestions on how you use your week section, I would love to hear them. I'm doing some serious brainstorming on how I can fill these pages in my 2026 better. But I'm also trying to not stress about having these empty pages in here. It's fine. It happens. My main focus is on my daily pages. That's where I really don't want to miss a day. And so I'm trying to be easy with myself that I haven't filled up every single week's page. But yeah, if y'all have any suggestions or want to share how you use your week's pages, I would love to hear. And then for my dailies, it's the same as it's always been, doing fun decorations, doing little mood boards or recaps of the month for the month pages. And I kind of, for a while there, I was sticking with the one color is day of writing, and then the other color is next day of writing. But then I kind of got in this funk with my ink colors. I wasn't really liking any of the ones I had. And so I just started writing with black ink. And I liked that for a while, just keeping it plain with the black ink. And then recently I bought a bunch of new inks and have been experimenting with those. And I've been having a lot of fun with playing with my inks again and using different colors. So we're back to one color is day of writing, another color is day after writing, which I do think is my favorite way of using this journal. It just is fun to look at. I get to use my ink colors and it just makes it more fun. I also have been allowing myself to have some blank spots every now and then, more in this journal than I did in my last. I feel like I really stressed about that in my last journal. In this journal, it is what it is. It happens. I have been sick a lot this year with various sicknesses, and when you're sick, you don't want to journal, and that's okay. So I've allowed myself to just have some blank spots every now and then, and it's not going to be the end of the world. My plan for the November month page is to do a recap of the month. So once the month is over, I'm going to come back and put in some fun pictures of the month, kind of like I did with September. This is October's monthly page. This was a mood board, so I did this before the month. And then sometimes I go back after the month and we'll do a recap. So the month of September was when we went to London and when I got engaged. So I felt like that would be the perfect month page to do recap. And I kind of just did all of our pictures from London. And then for the first time ever, I missed a whole page. That didn't happen at all in my last book. And this is the only time it's happened in this book. And it was after our travel back home from London. And I was just exhausted and not wanting to journal. So I left a little note, and I think that's perfectly fine. You can see here also this page is very sparse. That was our flight back day. And I think instead of leaving it completely blank and like writing a note like I am exhausted, I don't feel like journaling today, helps my brain a little bit more than leaving it completely blank. But yeah, I feel like I'm not as stressed about absolutely filling these pages. I try and fill them as much as I can, but I'm not freaking out if there's some blank spots, which has been nice. But yeah, that is my Hobonichi Cousin. So I use this on the daily for daily journaling. And now we're going to go into my side journals, I guess, what I'm using, not necessarily daily, but still frequently. So these are all of my side journals. We're not going to dig too far into my travelers because I want to do a whole video on my travelers. But basically, she's chunky. She's lovely. I keep her in my purse 24/7. She is my travel buddy. And how I use her is this first insert is a craft insert, and that is for junk journaling. So just scrap paper, fun goodies. Second insert is my travel book. And then the last insert is my just like notes taking, kind of commonplacing, brain dumping area. And then I do have some pockets in here. We're not going to go into too much detail because I do want to do that whole video on it, but she is has become my favorite journal. I absolutely adore her. I love how chunky she is. She's just the best. She comes with me everywhere. Oh, and her name's Pipsqueak because I have to name everything. Next is my commonplacing book. If you've been here before and have watched any of my past videos, you will know that I do my commonplacing in field notes. This is my first completed one. from September 17th to December 31st of 2024. I filled this one way faster than I'm filling this one, but we're not going to stress about it. It's not that big of a deal. I just haven't had as much to Commonplace about, but whenever I feel the need, I'm loving sitting down and filling up these pages. And I am over halfway full, or halfway through, so she should be finished kind of soon whenever. It's not that big of a deal. Whenever I feel like commonplacing, I'll sit down and fill it in, and if this is a whole year book, then it is. It is what it is. But if we'd like to see a flip through of this once I finish, definitely let me know down in the comments. This is, I think, one of my favorite pages. I'll go ahead and show you this. It's literally just the lyrics of Ethel Cain's song Nettles, and I did like a mood board for it. I love how it turned out. It's super fun. But yes, my commonplacing book. She is a lot of fun. I love her, and I love using these field notes. They're so much fun. And then lastly, I think the newest addition is my wedding planning journal. This is another one that I'm not going to go too much into. If we would like to see a flip through of it, let me know. It's not really that full. It's only a couple pages so far. Just thought it would be really cute to have documentation of like all of my planning, all of my thoughts, us making the guest list, the venue list. Here's my mood board. And then I even I'm starting to feel a little bit stressed about planning. So I wrote about how I'm feeling about that. And I don't know, I think it's just going to be really cute to look back on this and have all the documentation of the planning. And then also instances where I'm freaking out. And I get to look back and be like, oh, you poor sweet thing. It'll be okay. So this isn't anything special. I mean, it is special to me, but it's definitely not used daily. It's used a couple times a month, just whenever I want to sit down and have some ideas. And it's a lot of fun. So maybe once I fill her up some more, or once I finish it, we can do a full flip through. I feel like that could be fun. But that is all of my journals that I'm currently using. So now let's go into my plans for 2026. I am doing another Hobonichi avec for 2026. It just worked so well for me this year. I absolutely adored it. And I kind of looked into other journal brands, but also I just love the Hobonichi so much that I was like, there's really no question about it. I've already decorated the cover. It just came over me the other night. I had absolutely no plan to decorate it. I sat down at my table with my journals. I'd gotten some new stickers in the mail, and I was kind of just putting them together and was like, oh, it's happening. And so we just went with the flow, and it turned out really cute. I really like it. And then I just have this one little touch grass sticker on the back. I thought that was cute. I haven't done any decorating on the inside yet, so maybe we can do that in a video. I have started to fill in the month for December, just so that's filled in, but I haven't decorated it at all. But my plans for this is the same as it always is. We're going to do it daily journaling, keep track of monthly events, appointments, things like that. Really, the only main thing that I'm not confident in is the weeks pages. I really don't know how I want to use them. So that is something I need to do some research on and think about. Because I'm feeling very, very stumped about the weeks pages. I just cannot figure out how to use them. And I've seen people where they do like snapshots of the day where it's like very few words. But I'm already doing that on my daily pages. So it just feels, I just don't want to be reiterating the same thing over and over and over again. It feels very repetitive, if that makes sense. But yes, so Hobonichi avec stays the same. We love her. We will be continuing with her. I will be continuing with my travelers. One new thing, and I don't have her yet, is I think we will be moving away from field notes for my commonplacing and moving into a Filofax, which is very exciting. I have never had a ringed journal of any sorts. It's kind of intimidating. I'm a little scared by it, But at my job, we just got in a bunch of Filofax, and I'm kind of obsessed with them. I'm wanting specifically the croc leather one in red, and so I'm waiting until we possibly get that one in stock. Or there's another style that I'm looking at. It kind of just depends on when or if we get these styles in. But I do plan to move into Filofax for my commonplacing next year. So plan is to finish out this book, however long that takes. There's no rush. Like, it doesn't need to be by December of 2026. We'll just finish out this book since I'm so close to finishing, and then move into the Filofax. And then we can have a whole series about my Filofax. But yeah, it's very exciting. I've been kind of planning and thinking about it for a couple months now, and I feel like it'll work really well. I like the idea of being able to actually insert things into the Filofax for my commonplacing. So if I have postcards or articles or things like that, I can insert them and then do more research, dialogue, things like that on the paper. That is my idea. Hopefully it works how I want it to. If not, we always have field notes as the backup because I do love them so much, and I can use the Filofax for something else. But that is my plan. But yeah, I think that is all for today. We covered my current setup and all of my plans for 2026. It's very exciting. I love this time of the year now that I'm like hardcore into journaling and getting to set up the new journals and starting to plan and think of new ideas. It's just so much fun. So if you all know your setup for 2026, feel free to leave it down in the comments. I would love to hear everyone's ideas. And again, I would love to hear ideas on the week section of the Hobonichi, because your girlie needs some ideas. I'm truly stumped. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all next time. Bye.